Hello, it's ChewDog Charts. Now, I've been spending a lot of time on the overall markets, and it's time to get back to individual stocks. Now, whether the stock market's in a bubble or not, there's always other opportunities and other potential. So here's what I did. I took a basket of stocks and sent them through a screening, a very basic screening. The first screen, I simply wanted to look at bargain stocks, so I wanted negative returns from over the past 12 months. The second screen, I wanted the gross profit margin to be higher in the current 12-month period than it was in the previous 12-month period. And then the last screen, I wanted increase in sales for the past 12 months to be higher than the sales from the previous 12 months. So let's take a look. The screening produced several dozen companies in various industries, including beverages, oil and gas, biotechnology, miscellaneous commercial services, and electric utilities, among others. From the list, I've chosen 5 stocks. The first stock is Molson Coors Brewing. It has a 41-cent per quarter dividend and yields about 2.06%. In the screening, the total return from the last 12 months was negative 16%. However, the gross profit margin increased from 38.31% to 39.49%. And the increase in sales over the past 12 months was 196%. And as we can see here in the chart, the price has declined from, say, late 2016 to the current time frame. Moving into the MACD fast line has moved below the zero line, and the slow line is moving down as well. However, we see in the histogram that there might be a slight turn here, so still too early to tell. The momentum indicator also shows perhaps a bottom and then a slight move. Again, a little too early to tell. The price rate of change continues to move downward, while the relative strength index bounced off of this point here to a slight positive reading. Again, too early to tell. The stochastics also show maybe a slight turn, and once again, too early to tell at this point. The volume looks fine, and the Williams shows a couple of bottoms here in, say, mid-2017 with an upward move, probably the most positive indicator that we see in all of the oscillators. Moving back up to the price chart, at this point in time, I think it's a little bit too early to tell on Molson Coors Brewing, but something you may want to keep an eye on. Let's take a look at the next stock. Our next stock is Simmering Energy, symbol XEC. Simmering has a dividend of 8 cents per quarter and a yield of about 0.28%, relatively nominal. The total return was negative 17%. However, the gross profit margin increased from 21.73% to 51.36%, and the increase in sales was 48%. And as we can see here in the price chart, we did have a bottom here, and it looks like there may be a general trend through here like that. Moving down into the MACD, it shows each of those occasions. The MACD bottomed in these areas here. We have a slight reflection at this point. Hopefully that will move up. We'll see. The MAC histogram shows the turn and then the improvement there. The momentum indicator shows a bottom, and hopefully this will set up for a slightly higher low. The price rate of change is still moving down a bit. Hopefully the fast line can turn in this period here and then move above the slow line hopefully soon enough. The RSI is near 50, which is not too bad. We had a bottom back here, say in mid 2017, so that looks like things are improving as well. And then in the stochastic, the fast line has moved through the slow line and showing some improvement. Moving down into volume, volume looks good. And then the Williams also shows a bottom, say in mid 2017 with improvement. Back up to the price chart. This one looks like it's further ahead than Molson Coors. This one looks like you might want to keep your eye out and conduct some further fundamental analysis before buying, but it looks somewhat promising. Let's go to the next stock. Our next stock is Hanes brand, symbol HBI, which is in the apparel and footwear industry. It has a 15-cent per quarter dividend and a yield of 2.8%. In the previous 12 months, the total return was negative 1%. The gross profit margin improved from 38.21% to 39.01%, and the increase in sales over the past 12 months was 13%. And looking at the chart, it looks like we have perhaps a double bottom here and here from early 2017 and late 2017. We see the same in the MACD. We see a bottom here with a move up and a downward reflection. This actually is one of my favorite chart patterns. Moving down into the histogram, we see the same thing, very negative at this point. Here, we're still moving down a little bit, but I don't think that that's going to extend for very long. Into the momentum indicator, we see that the momentum indicator from early 2017 has continued to improve. The price rate of change as well, fast line has moved through the slow line. Looks like we have another bottom here, perhaps a reflection to move up toward the zero line. Relative strength shows much the same, improvement through that period there. The stochastic the fast line moved through the slow line in this period here. We have the fast line moving back under the slow line, but I would imagine that we'll see perhaps another turn in the fast line somewhere in this area here. Into volume, volume is very healthy with an upward move. The Williams also shows much the same as some of the other oscillators with improvement since late 2016. Moving back up to the price chart, this to me looks like another favorable stock that one would want to conduct further analysis in the fundamentals, but it's a good stock to watch and look at more closely. All right, let's move to the next stock. Our next stock here is Express Scripts Holdings. The symbol is ESRX. It's in the services to the health industry, and there's no dividend. So going straight to the chart here, we see a bottoming in this period here, with then the move right here up through the 20 and the 50 EMA. Moving down, we see the same thing in the MACD with the bottom here, and then the fast line moving through the trigger line at this point here. Into the histogram, we can see that move through the zero line and with the positive move at this point. Into the momentum indicator also shows some bottoming here in 2016 and then the upward move and improvement throughout much of this year, 2017. Price rate of change also the same with a move through the slow line, say convincingly at this point here, and then a reflection somewhat in this area there, but upward movement, good improvement. Relative strength, we've bottomed here throughout 2016 and 2017, and then a move up through the midline in this time frame. The stochastic also shows very good formation through here, and then an upward move toward the midline. Volume looks okay, maybe not as good as one would want, but it's still satisfactory. And then the Williams also shows the consolidation in 2016 through 2017, and then this recent significant move upward. Moving back to the price chart, it looks to me that this is a favorable stock, but again, I can't be responsible for your purchasing this because you need to conduct some further analysis in the fundamentals to see if this stock fits with your portfolio. So now let's go to the last stock. And our last stock here is Johnson Controls International, symbol is JCI. Johnson Controls has a 26-cent per quarter dividend for a yield of 2.79%. In the last 12 months, it had a total return of negative 8%. However, the gross profit margin improved from 25.01% to 30.85%, and the increase in sales was 2%. Moving to the price chart, we can see that there's a general trend line in this area that looks somewhat favorable, especially if we can reflect back off here and head up. Moving into the MACD, we show the fast line moving below the zero line. However, it doesn't appear to be significantly negative at this point, and being that there's not much elevation to the upward move, I don't think we're going to be down below zero for a long time. Moving into the histogram shows pretty much the same. The momentum indicator shows a reflection at this point. Not sure if that's going to move up, but we'll keep our eye on that. The price rate of change continues in a downward movement, not significant, but not a sign either of a change in direction at this point. So we'll have to watch that. The relative strength index is also showing much the same, a continued downward move, though not significantly negative. The stochastic as well shows the same thing, both the fast line and the slow line moving below the midline 50. Into the volume looks like it's relatively positive, so that's a good sign. And then the Williams shows bottom at this point in time here. Now we're above the bottom at this point, but if it turns, then that will be a higher low, some improvement, but we'll have to wait and see. So moving back on up into the price chart, we have some mixed messages from the oscillators. So this is something to continue watching, but I do like this general trend line. I don't think the move downward is significantly negative. So this is something that I would want to keep an eye on and conduct further analysis of the fundamentals. So before I sign off, I would once again like to thank you, and I hope you please subscribe and hit the notification bell for new videos. So for today, it's ChewDog Charts, and thank you.